Hi guys, it's Sandy with Sandy Cogdell Designs, and today I have a card with the most adorable little scarecrow on it. This scarecrow is from Pink and Main, and it is actually, I believe, part of their stamp and die subscription. I saw it and I just absolutely fell in love with it, so it was one I just had to have. I also found out that Pink and Main has a monthly challenge, and so I thought I would go ahead and give that a try. This particular month, the challenge was based on a sketch, so that is what I based my card off of. Go ahead and give me a thumbs up if you like this video. You can subscribe to my channel to be notified of future videos. You can follow me on Instagram at Sandy Cogdell or on my blog, sandycogdelldesigns.com. Let's get started. The name of this stamp set is Field of Dreams. And I wanted the greens on his little hat to match that green gingham that's on the card, the pattern paper that I used. The colors that I'm using are G20, G21, and G24. I do go back a little bit later and just put a little bit of C1 gray over the top just to kind of tone that green down and make it blend in a little bit better with the pattern paper. Next, I wanted to make sure that his little outfit matched some of the leaves in that pattern paper. So the colors I'm using for that are E08, E09, and YR24. Next, I'm going to color his little face and his body. I wanted them to kind of look like a muslin or a light burlap, so the colors I used are E41, E42, and E43. They also matched really well with the pattern paper. Next, I want to color in the little straw, which is his hair, and the straw that are his hands. And the colors I'm using for that are Y26, YR23, and YR24. I'm going to use that same color combination for the petals on the sunflowers. So again, it's Y26, YR23, and YR24. The center of the sunflower is E29 and E39. And then for the stems and the leaves on the sunflowers, I'm going back with the same greens that I used on his little hat, which are G20, G21, and G24. Now the little guy you see stamped next to the sunflowers on this particular piece of paper is or was my first attempt at coloring him. And while I love the color of his little hat, it just did not work very well with the colors of my paper. So I will save him for another card. My little crow is colored with very dark grays. It almost gives him appearance of being black. I'm using C3, C5, and C7. And then I decided to give him a little green scarf so that he matched the hat on the scarecrow. I'm going to use the coordinating dies to cut out all of my little images that I've got colored. Using the sketch for the challenge, I cut my cardstock and my pattern paper as close to what I thought those particular measurements would be. And then I've got to figure out what I've got to do with my little guy. For the background that my little scarecrow flowers and crow crow are going to be on, I cut out a piece of cream colored cardstock, and I'm going to go in with some Sage Pink Fresh ink and just kind of go around all of those edges, just not only to soften them up, but to bring in a little bit more color where he's going to be. I'm also going to water down some of that ink and spatter it on that creamy background just to give it a little bit more dimension and interest. One of the reasons why I love using a glass mat is because I can just ink up my glass, water it down, and work from there, and then wipe it clean. And now we're going to start putting everything together. So I'm going to glue my pattern paper onto my cardstock. I'm going to put my cream color ink piece on that also. I cut out some circles with just a circle die and then cut out a heart in the center of those circles to achieve the little dots that were also on that sketch. So I think those turned out pretty good. And then my sentiment is from that cardstock, and I just stamped that on some cream cardstock and then trimmed it out with some of the pattern paper, which was part of the sketch challenge also. Before I glue down that sentiment banner, I want to make sure that I have my scarecrow in exactly the right place for this card. So I'm going to just kind of play around with those flowers and the scarecrow and figure out what works best. So I'm going to glue some of the flowers directly to the cardstock. And then for the little scarecrow, the crow, and a couple of the other flowers, I am going to pop those up with a little bit of foam tape. I like to give my cards just a little bit of dimension. I think that just makes them just a little bit more special. And then once I get that scarecrow and flowers in place, I will go ahead and glue down my little banner sentiment. And that pretty much completes the front of my card. I think this card is just adorable, and I had so much fun making it. I also have another card that I created with the three little scarecrows from that stamp set. That is also on my Instagram. I'll go ahead and throw in a picture so you can see that too. I just think this is the cutest little set. All right, go ahead and give me a thumbs up if you like this video. You can subscribe to be notified of future videos. You can also follow me on Instagram at Sandy Cogdell or on my blog, www.sandycogdelldesigns.com. Thanks very much for stopping by today, and I hope you have a fantastic fall because it's just around the corner. Bye-bye.